because it's owed to us. The Japanese were interned for less than a year, maybe about a year. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, they got reparations. The Nazis gave reparations to the Jews. The slave owners got reparations when they let the slaves go. Meanwhile, we were cut out of the New Deal specifically. Yeah. There are racist policies like redlining. Banks will not give us a loan based solely on either our name if they see the paperwork first, or our physical appearance based on the color of our skin. There are jobs that will not hire. There are institutions like educational institutions that without affirmative action would never have allowed us. And then again, when we did our own thing like the Jews did and, built had our own communities building our own wealth, those were burned to the ground. Innocent children were murdered in churches. So this is a lifetime debt that's owed because so many lifetimes have passed since the now. So to me, it needs to be a universal basic income. It can't be a one-time check, because what are you going to do? Give each individual $1 billion? Because you have to realize you're not just giving it to us for the stuff that's going on now, but also the fact that we couldn't have generational wealth. And again, anytime we attempted to build it, you knocked it down. So you owe us for all of that. So that's why I make the case for universal basic income. I make the case that who pays for it is literally every corporation, but certain corporations pay a certain amount more. What are those corporations? The cotton industry, the sugar industry, the alcohol industry. Can anybody guess why? So also the prisons, the prison industry. The prison industry is for profit in this country. And we all know about the 13th Amendment. So certain industries that have profited, those industries need to pay more. Everybody else should have a certain tax. Everybody meaning corporations, not every person. But corporations should have a certain tax. And there should also be a law that they can't raise rates to compensate for it. Like you've been making money off of this the whole time. You just have to pay. It's your turn to pay back now. To answer the question that JB brought up.
I cut off. All I gotta say is that she was like, "Yo, what we gonna do? Gave every black person $1 billion." That's a good start. Yeah, but why not? You see that? It's just they don't got no political imagination. But MG, hey yo, please let us know how you feel, bro. Let us know how you feel, man. For real. So I want to hear what you got to say, man. For real.
Go ahead, Mud.
No, I was gonna let you go.
Yeah, let Cuz go, man. What the fuck? Like this is come on, Cuz. Like that was going.
All right, for me, the bottom line is she builds a good case and then drops off into nothingness because she just doesn't know about the remedies that have been talked about for the last, I don't know, at least 5 years. So that's where they're kind of failing, because they didn't do the research to have this discussion, and they didn't have anybody to guide them in the right direction, even though there are literally thousands of people that could have done a better job than this. So that's my issue with it. But go ahead.
So she goes through this long list making the case of the specific injuries that happened to us, and then she reverts back to universal basic income for everybody, which is a fucking problem, because everybody didn't go through those injuries, so why exactly would they be getting this income? Then the idea of corporations paying for this through a higher tax, I mean, I don't necessarily know how that would exactly work, because I don't think, especially if we're only going to be specific to the industries that were involved in like the slave trade or discrimination towards Black people, I don't know if those corporations or those industries have enough to pay universal basic income for life to every American citizen. I don't necessarily know if that all works out, but either way, none of this makes sense. If you're talking about building generational wealth for the descendants of American slavery because we weren't allowed to, then whatever is done has to be specific to us, because everything else, it just dilutes the program. And we've seen over and over again that these things that are done for everybody doesn't work out as far as lifting us up. That's all I got.
All right, cool. Saying what you got.
Mud said everything I wanted to say. John says it all the time. And this is a perfect time because I'm going to talk about your favorite. But what she just did is the reason why John takes issue with Jimmy Dore. You talk all about shit that happened to Black people. You lead all the way up. And then you said, this is why we should do a UBI. This is why we should do Medicare for all. This is why we should do $15 minimum wage for everybody. So you used our plight, you used our political capital, and then you use our political capital for everybody else. Fred Hampton leftists, y'all are white leftists. Y'all may have to change y'all name. Did y'all get permission from the family?
I bet they did.